Man here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. So we got David Haye versus Tony Bellew coming up in May. I've been taking in some of their pressers, man, just kind of looking at catching up on the optics of this fight, man. And let me tell you something, man. What is up with David Haye? Clearly looking straight up like a promoter than a fighter. I'm listening to how this man is talking, and clearly he's mentally, I don't know if he's just not trying to play the game of Tony Bellew and conceding all that mental ground. Yeah, you beat me. Yeah, you were the better man. Instead of telling Tony Bellew, look, the only reason you beat me is because my Achilles went out, and technically, if I wouldn't have gotten injured, you would have been beat. That's what I would have expected David Haye to come off as. But yet David Haye has his promoter hat on. And he's so interested in more so, the promotional aspect of the fight and telling the fans how great the fight's going to be. And he's attaching one of his fighters, Joe Joyce, to the undercard. And he wants Joe Joyce to fight his old foe in Derek Chisora. Now, according to the recent news about this, they're saying that David Haye has been trying to find Derek Chisora, man, because all they are going off is a handshake from Derek Chisora that if you get the money, that he'll fight him. So we'll see how that plays out, man. But listening to the side of Tony Bellew, man, he's basically accusing David Haye of being an opportunist. All you're worried about is putting your fighters on the undercard, and you're running around chasing Derek Chisora, and you need to be focused on the fight. And it's like the focus on the fight for David Haye is just like, yeah, I'll be there. You know what I mean? Be sure to get your tickets. Don't forget to get your tickets. We're going to be on pay-per-view. Don't forget to check this. And it's like, yo, bro, dog, you do realize that you are in a fight. You do realize that you're still a fighter, right? And that's what makes me like, you know what I mean? Now, as for Tony Bellew, take your mind, in the first fight, I wasn't impressed with him either, though he gained the victory. And that is because, for one, I thought he looked very soft in that first fight. And we can clearly see by his trainer that he wasn't even happy with Tony Bellew's performance in the first fight. He thought Tony Bellew looked terrible in the first fight, listening to how he's talking. He's saying that they worked on numerous things, and he felt as though that Tony Bellew did none of those things in the first fight. And he is expecting him to do those things in this fight. And to also hopefully come in better shape. Because, Tony Bellew must have had it in his mind in the first fight. Either he was going in there to lose, or he knew that David Haye was beat up. Something ain't right with that, man. But, that's the thing with David Haye, man. I've given up on him years ago. I mean, right after the round of Tyson Fury time, when he ducked Tyson Fury that second time. That's when I really kind of started distancing, I started tuning my attention into other places in boxing. I mean, because David Haye, man, this dude is like made of straw or something, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, every time you turn around, it's a shoulder injury, it's an arm injury, it's an Achilles injury, it's a head injury, it's a neck injury, it's a back injury. I mean, every time I turn around, this dude is hurt. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like make you go, because though he's a skillful dude or whatever, yeah, former world champion, I get it. It's just like, when he's so beat up as much as he is, you don't really believe in him much. And that's why I am with David Haye. This is the reason he's threatened retirement so many times. The dude is being held together by a Band-Aid, you know what I'm saying, a yo-yo, and a straw. This dude cannot stay healthy for nothing, man. I mean, I don't know, 16 years of fighting will definitely do that to you. But if your body is telling you it ain't with it no more, man, get out, According to David Haye, he's looking lean, he's looking mean. Tony Bellew had hit it right on the head. Yo, you always look good. That ain't nothing new under the sun. You always look good on the scales, man. You come in, you always in tip-top condition. You're in great shape, man. But then you get in there and you just fall apart. You know what I mean? So Tony Bellew clearly isn't impressed with the physique and the fitness of David Haye, because guess what? We see that every fight. That's nothing that David Haye has never been accused of. He's always good between fights. He always comes into fights, make weight. He always looks good on the scale. So that ain't the issue. The issue is, brother, that you're a walking tin man, man. You know what I mean? And that's just being real, man. But David Haye has done some very, very good things in his career, and I'm not going to act like that he hasn't. But when it comes to this particular situation with his promoter hat on more so than anything, it just makes me look, I don't perceive him as much of a fighter. It makes him look a bit weak in my opinion. And Tony Bellew sitting on the other side just like can't believe his ears. Like, are you just conceding all this stuff? Like, seriously? I mean, clearly he's trying to get into the head of David Haye once again, as he believed he did in the first fight, because he clearly got under the skin of David Haye in that first fight. But in this particular fight, man, it's like David Haye is trying his best not to engage, but you see it all in him, man. That dude picked up that water bottle that he had in front of him. He had a water bottle in front of him at the press conference. I swear that dude sipped from that water bottle at least 75 times, man. You know what I'm saying? So, man, clearly David Haye is a little rattled, but more so concerned about the promotional aspect of this fight. You see Eddie Hearn taking jabs at him. You see Tony Bellew taking jabs at him about, wanting to be so much into the promotional game. And UK fans, this is a fight definitely for y'all, because truth be told, I love the sport of boxing, but this fight I don't think it should be warranted, man. I don't know if David Haye is 100%. And clearly, I don't even know if David Haye in the first fight was 100%. I think he just, he'll do whatever he can to get that last check, I mean, I think, honestly, truth be told, David Haye may have known he was injured going into the first fight, but I'm not going to go there, man. But he just need to, get it together, man. That's all. And if not, he just need to retire, man. I mean, after this particular fight, right, according to David Haye, if he beats Tony Bellew and he doesn't look impressively doing it, he's still going to retire. But if he defeats Tony Bellew impressively, 3-round knockout, 4-round knockout, then guess what? He wants to get into the ring with none other than Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? He's currently working with Eddie Hearn right now, so who knows if that's possible. But I don't know even if the UK fans will even have the appetite for that. Anthony Joshua versus a beat-up David Haye, because even in a fight of that magnitude, if David Haye is injured, he is not pulling out of an Anthony Joshua fight. I repeat, he is not pulling out of an Anthony Joshua fight, because that check would have a little bit too many zeros behind it before David Haye will pull out. It's all about the cash with David, man. He needs that cash to get his promotional outfit running properly and to set himself up properly after boxing. And that is the ambition today of David Haye. And truth be told, when that is your ambition, it doesn't sail very well with guys like me. I want to see warriors. I want to see fighters. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. But they're talking May 5th. I believe it's going to be back at the O2 Arena again, man. So, should be a good thing for, good event over there. They're going to put it on properly. I'm sure it's an Eddie Hearn thing. And, it is what it is, man. But, I'm just not overly thrilled about this fight. I do hope that Tony Bellew comes in better shape for this fight. I do hope he take this fight a lot more seriously, man, because it's just bad. Even if you win and you're just looking bad doing it, that don't mean that you're going to, overly win the fans and you're not going to have people cheering your name, man. You got over. I thought, honestly, if David Haye wouldn't have gotten hurt in the first fight, he would have beaten Tony Bellew. Truth be told, I think David Haye was hanging in the fight. It wasn't much degrees of separation between the two, but he was in the fight more so, and he possibly would have beaten Tony Bellew, because physically, Tony Bellew just almost didn't look like I didn't think he would make it through 12 rounds. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see, man. We'll see. It's going to be a contentious fight as long as David Haye stays healthy. It will be a contentious fight. We don't know. It's a roll of the dice. If you're betting on this fight, I couldn't tell you, man. I mean, David Haye is just, to me, not reliable enough physically to put money on him, truth be told. And that's just my opinion. So, but I'll do a prediction for this fight in future vids, man. And, I just hope they continue to build this thing up to a point where a lot of more people outside of the UK will become interested also. Because right now it's just like, okay, we hear you. All right, looking forward to May 5th. We'll see you then. All right, so to the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace out.